since the seawater is salty. How do the animals that spend all day in the sea solve the problem of drinking water? Many people, upon hearing this, would surely look confused. What the heck? Do marine animals need to drink water? The answer is yes. But when it comes to drinking water, it's not just about quenching thirst for them. In fact, it might even end up dehydrating them. Let's first understand a basic question. Why can't humans drink seawater? As we all know, the mouth of an object is sweet. The water in the sea is salty. The salt concentration of seawater is approximately 3.5%, while the salt concentration in our blood is only about 0.9%. So if we drink seawater, our kidneys will have to produce urine with a higher concentration than seawater in order to excrete it. But the problem is, human kidneys don't have this ability. They can only excrete urine with a concentration slightly higher than that of blood. This means that if a human drinks a cup of seawater, they would have to excrete 1.5 cups of urine to remove the excess salt. And the end result is that they become thirstier and more dehydrated. This is medically known as osmotic diuresis. Talk like a human being. Drinking seawater is equivalent to giving oneself a dehydration drug. Since humans can't do it, what about marine animals? They spend every day in the sea. They must drink something, right? The answer is quite simple. Either learn to desalinate seawater, or learn to leap and practice swordsmanship, and drown themselves. This plan seems very difficult, but in fact, it's not at all simple. So those who rely on this method are mostly hardcore hard-boned fish, such as grouper and tuna. They have a special structure on their gills called filter cells. This thing is like a miniature salt pump. It removes the excess salt from the blood, and their kidneys are very developed, with extremely high filtration efficiency. They can also help excrete salt. In short, they are equipped with their own seawater desalination system, so they can directly drink seawater. Although this system sounds rather tough, it is actually a very self-destructive trick. It consumes a lot of energy. It's basically trading one's life for drinking water. The second type is the elegant salt excretion group. This method causes less sacrifice to the body. The representatives are turtles, snakes, and seabirds. They don't excrete salt through gills. Instead, they use an organ called salt glands. Turtles have salt glands near their eyes. If you see turtles crying on the shore, don't misunderstand. It's not because they are moved by plastic waste, but because they are excreting salt. Because the salt glands can collect the salt in the blood and form a high-concentration salt solution. Finally, it is excreted through the corner of the eye. The same goes for albatrosses and penguins. Their salt glands are near the nostrils. Sometimes you see seabirds running with a runny nose. That's not a cold, but they're excreting salt. These animals usually don't actively drink seawater, but the food they eat usually contains a little salt, and furthermore, the body will inevitably absorb some seawater. So they use salt lines to concentrate and remove these salts. The third type is the bold water harvesting group. The representatives of this group include mammals like dolphins and whales. They don't drink seawater at all. Why? Because the ancestors of these creatures were actually land-based aquatic animals. If they drank seawater directly like fish, they would be dehydrated in no time. So these creatures turned their attention to other marine animals. In their eyes, these marine animals were not only food to satisfy their hunger, but also mobile water storage tanks. For example, squids have a large amount of water in their bodies, and this water is similar to fresh water. The water they drink doesn't require additional salt excretion. Even if they accidentally drink a small amount of seawater, they can rely on their powerful kidneys to excrete the excess salt. If you carefully observe how dolphins eat, they often hold their prey in their mouths and toss it around until they spit out the seawater completely before swallowing it. Each bite is carefully calculated. The fourth type is the toxin against toxin group. Their representatives mainly include soft-bodied fish like sharks and squids. Their thinking is the most ingenious. They don't follow the route of desperately excreting salt. Instead, they make their body fluids more salty than seawater. How did this creature do it? Sharks accumulate large amounts of urea in their blood and skin. They increase the osmotic pressure of their body fluids to a level higher than seawater, so the water neither leaks out, but naturally seeps in. Of course, this has a side effect. That is, the meat of sharks is full of urea. It tastes and smells even more strongly of urine, even when soaking in seawater. Some animals choose to endure it. Some steal water from the prey. Some even turn themselves into salted fish. They didn't have these abilities naturally, but they evolved for millions of years to obtain this drinkable water. In the end, seawater is salty. But life is not afraid of problems. What it fears is having no answers.